You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily, and we are still in the Heritage Month, and so, I mean, everything, our conversations are just centered on our heritage. Now, you realize that, fashion has always been with us from wherever we are coming from. We pay very much particular attention to fashion. Now, this morning, we are looking at hairstyles, we have come from somewhere. Before we discovered hair relaxers, we were still growing our hair. We're still doing so much with our hair. And with headbands, with headgears, so much has been going on. We've revolutionized our hair. And to help talk about this is none other than our very much historian, Kweku Dako Ankra. Kweku, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
Right, so before the white man came in, to show us that we can perm our hair, we can do jelly curls and stuff like that. We had our way of also beautifying ourselves in terms of hairstyles. Yeah. How far have we come in terms of this?
Yeah, so first and foremost, there is a ritual performances around all this. For most accounts, for instance, as soon as a child is born, before his 8th birthday, the child must given a haircut before the naming ceremony.
Okay.
Back in the day, so
before 8th birthday.
Before its 8th birthday.
Okay.
He must be given a haircut, and that is to welcome him into the family.
Okay.
So the insamanihui or the ghost hair that he brings must be cut. Then we welcome him to the family.
Wow.
That is very important. Again, among the accounts, when a woman grows and is being initiated, what we call the nobility rite, okay, or the puberty rite. A lady's hair must also be cut. For instance, among the Ashanti, there is something we call the shaving money, where the father will give a money to be given. Then the young lady's hair will be shaved.
Oh, wow.
If the father is not there, the uncle can go and perform that function. If none of them two is there, the sister can go.
Okay.
And when the sister go, it will leave some sort of hair somewhere in the left, we call it pua, among the Ashantis. So that tuft will be cut off and the woman will take it and send it back to the family house.
Interesting.
So these things were also going on. So right from infancy, an attempt to do something with the hair starts. And then during the adolescent stage of women, you see young women grouping, then trying to try their hands by plaiting each other's hair. So this is a form of socialization among the young women in order to bring out their own ingenuity in hairstyles by bringing out some different, it could be a mundane aesthetic style. And they do all this, and this came to form part of the hairstyles. And then as women grew, the women in the house, the elderly women, also try to, give them different style that suit their status as they grow. So it is a way of also performing some sort of a gender roles in the women. Then apart from that, some of the hairstyles too are for the purposes of ritual performances. So for instance, a person who is a priest, traditional priest, have a set of hairstyle. A traditional authority, a ruler, grandmother, also have different hairstyles. Then within them, when there was also the emergence of education, so elite women also started using hot iron braids and all diaphragm to also tenderize the hair in its way. All these things occurred contemporaneously with emergence of Europeans. So you see these are some of the things that we are going to show over the years, the different hairstyles that are indigenous to our people and how it will best, suit our discussion. And when it comes to hairstyle,
so we have, I believe this will be the elite,
so these are the colonial elite photos that we are showing. So these are the elite photos. So you see the woman from Elmina. This is a young, beautiful woman from Elmina, educated. So you see the hair is tenderized. So the picture she go on. So you see, this is also an elite woman, probably from a chief's house. So you see the two-horn hairstyle that is raised. it can move on. So this is a woman from Cape Coast.
Okay.
You see the hairstyle with tenderized hair, afro.
So were they having the hairstyles to depict where they were coming from? So because all these hairstyles looks like coming from Central region.
Yeah, these were people who have had interaction with the Europeans.
Yes.
So they tried to tenderize their hair, show different art forms, and these were the Gold Coast fashionistas of the time.
Yeah.
If you have such a hairstyle, then you are one of the best back in the day.
Yeah.
So there is more. As you roll, we will talk about them. So so you see a sister and a young lady. So back in the day, if you are not married, you don't cover your breast. That's why we say akatesia. You cover it to hide immediately as you marry. So the hair is a form of performance to show that this woman is a virgin. So you have standing heroes in the form of the breast.
Yeah, that kind of Garden of Eden kind of style, you know.
So as soon as that young lady whose hair has done, it means he has married, as opposed to the two standing on each side.
But I also see, you know, the lady on my left looks like she's plaited the hair with thread.
Yes.
Okay.
So it can be either with a thread or without a thread.
Yes.
To support.
Yeah.
So this is in a wrap form, tenderized hair in a wrap form. So it can move on. This is for the elite women as it has come.
Right.
Now we can move to the afro. If you can hear me, there's a afro hairstyle where natural hair, as we know. And it has also evolved over the years.
So for instance, with the afro hair, was it done by everyone? Was it peculiar to a certain group of people?
Yeah, so the afro can be done by everyone, but as time changes, it became something for the elite women, women who have been to school. So they wear that sort of thing. And it shows a class that the woman is coming from. And and that is very important. So if the pictures are back,
so I'm sure we'll have the pictures, but let's also look at, you know, you mentioned hairstyles by tradition, women in authority and all that. Let's talk a bit about dancing kind.
Okay.
So what is dancing kind, and I mean, what style is that?
Okay, so dancing kind has two theories from my research. So for one, if you go to Ashanti region, they claim it is a dancing crown. Okay. So it looks like a crown, and the way it is made, it depicts the queenship or a person coming from a specific traditional area. Yes. So that is the dancing crown, specifically for elite women in the traditional authority areas.
Okay. Then so that was done only by the Ashantis?
Not, yes, at first it was done by the Ashanti women, that dancing crown. Okay. However, other theory to it was that, you see, in the past, a woman's hair, foreskin must not be shown. But in dancing crown, you see that it is shaved and you can see the skin. Yeah. The interpretation I've got from some of my round was that during the Battle of Akatamanso, when the Ashantis were defeated, the women were mourning, they were bowing, they were singing, saying that, oh, this is what has happened to them was a catastrophe. Okay. So as an oath, some of the women now skin their hair and left them, some of them, and they say, then they sing cry. Okay, then they sing cry, then sing cry. Because of what happened at Accra. So they did that in a form of mourning. So these are the two theories that explains the dancing crown. But Ashantis prefer the dancing crown one. Of course,
why are we not surprised?
Understandable. That is the way it is. So if the dancing crown is here,
so that's the
this is the
crown.
queen mother of Asante Mampong, Apong. This photo is 1924. Oh, wow. So you see this 1924 hairstyle, that dancing crown goes way back, way back. And
because we still do it.
Yeah, we still do it. So I look for an archival photo of this to show people that this is not a new sort of thing, and that if you look at it very well, this is a traditional authority having it. But today, since we copy and there is no social control of how people should do, back in the day, only people who were queen mothers have this hair.
Yeah.
If you are not a queen mother, you will be in trouble.
Oh, wow.
But now it has moved on. So there are other hairstyles around there that we can also add to it, which has to do with this is the tekua.
Okay.
For instance, this is one woman. So you see the tekua. Normally, back in the day, if a woman gets married, or among the fanties, if the woman goes to what they call okompano,
okay.
that is like your bregra form. The fanties who are on the coast call it comprano,
okay.
because they go to the sea. That is where they bath. But because in Ashanti they have rivers,
yes.
in Bragro you go to the river. So after doing that, and when you are dressing to advertise in town that you are come of age, then you put on this. Again, this hairstyle can also be put on during festive occasions.
Okay.
So you see this woman is an elderly woman. So this one is for a festive occasion.
Now, I also know that there were some different hairstyles, you know, for widowhood rites and cultural practices like that. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, so for widowhood rites, normally a woman is believed they have to shave the hair
entirely.
Yes, sometimes they shave the hair entirely, or sometimes it can come down.
Okay.
What is the significance of that? The significance of that is to hide the identity of the woman from the spiritual husband, so that you might not come and then scare the person in a way. So shaving hair down is also a form of trying to hide the identity of the woman, so that there will be no connection between the living woman and then the dead woman, because when you die you become an ancestor and there is a lacuna between both of you, so there's no need to bring the living and the dead together.
We are talking mostly about hairstyles for women, but I also believe the men also had their own hairstyle with afro, with their boy and all that.
So we will deal with men with their boy. If the photos come, you will see this is J.E. Kesley Hayford, the famous Gold Coast nationalist, with the headband. This photo is 1896. Aboriginal Right Protection Society meeting at Cape Coast. So you see the elite of the time with his beautiful kente. And at that time, they come out with a policy of back to nativity, that all the Africans who had copied European way, and you look at him, this is Afro-European, and they were touting the idea of Pan-Africanism back in the day, even before it was ferment in overseas. So they were thinking the idea of going back to nativity, which was pushed by the famous Gold Coaster called Reverend Atwa. He was called Richard Blue Solomon, but because he became an Africanist, he changed his name and took the name Atwa. So this was the conference Kesley Hayford had this. There are another photos of people with headbands that, so you see a traditional chief with the headband too. And you see the way he ties it. It shows you the position, shows you his role in society, as opposed to Kesley Hayford's own. So let the next photo come. We see different types of headband. So another person standing there with his also headband and so on. So it show you different people and their headband. This is a Asantehene Mensapoku and the Queen Mother. So this is Asantehene's photo. Go back to 18th.
The Ashantis come with their headbands come with some kind of symbols on them.
So you see the symbols in this particular one showing you, because it also shows the status of the chief as person who has wealth. So and it also has certain Edinkra symbols around it. So because this is a black and white photo of the time, it is not able to depict the exact symbols and the way it is. But you could see that it has this gold ornaments around it. So this is a chief of Tutu in a Kwapim Tutu chief and his two wives. So you see his headband too, showing you his authority. So what exactly
does this one mean? Because you can tell the difference between that of the Asantehene, that of Tutuhene, and also Kesley Hayford. You know, when we showed it. So what are the differences? Because this one, for instance, has two kind of knots up. The other one, no knot at all, but with embellishments, and there was another one that was only one. So
so we have a noble man, Obirompong, who is not a chief, and his hairstyle. So Kesley Hayford and the other man is an Obirompong who is not educated, of an educated class.
Okay.
So you see his style. Kesli Hereford as an Obrempong, who is an elite in the Gold Coast educated class, has his own. So that is the way his headband, and it goes with kente, as you've seen. And it is also the fancy way of doing it. So the fancy have a way they tie their headband. And if you go to a crapim, they have their way of tying their hair. So by looking at the headband, you can even identify the origin. And by looking at the headband, you can also know the social status or the political status of the individual that is wearing the headband. So that those are the significance. So you see, this is an Obrimpong. He has made his own money, and he is a man in his own right. So he can show you that he has also arrived. Then you have the chiefs who naturally have their own, like the chief of Tutu, with his two, this thing showing you his authority. Because as a Tutu chief, he is also under a chief, the paramount chief of Ikrapim State. So he cannot, what the overlord of the community will put as a headband will be different from what the Tutuhene is having in this photo.
So at what point did we have the men do the half currency, you know, with the aboy and stuff like that?
So the aboy also came with the educated elite class. So if the photos will come, we will show you the aboy, that's the elite class. So even presidents like Achampong had an aboy. We have, so you see this fisherman with his aboy. You see, he's showing you this a man from his local community. The next slide, the slide should move, then we have. So you see elderly Gold Coasters with their different aboy and headband. The next photo slide should go. So this is the Gold Coast educated elite. So you see it's a photo taken by James Bano, famous James Bano, the cameraman. So this is another Gold Coast elite who is also having his headband there. The photo should go. The one. This is Kwekuba Nkole Awana Rena, the famous Gold Coast nationalist. He is the first person to introduce radical politicking in Ghana, and he was the presidential candidate, now we will call it, of the Muslim Association Party. So this is Kwekuba Nkole Awana Rena. People have heard him. They've never seen his photo before. So with his beautiful aboy there. So he should move on. This is Sergeant Adjete, the famous Sergeant Adjete with his aboy. You've seen his aboy.
Quite a deep one.
Yeah, very deep one. So, then you, the educated Gold Coast, you see JJ Mensakan, Kwesi Planch. So you see JJ Mensakan, founders of Ghana National College. They are there with his aboy photo.
So the aboy was mainly for the elite.
Yeah, so you should move on. You will see you saw the fisherman with his aboy. So these are the educated family from Kowe area there with also their aboy hairstyle. So aboy goes way back. This is Achampong, President Achampong with his aboy. So it goes back in the day that aboy is not also something that is modern. In fact, I have a photo of 18, unfortunately I didn't bring it here, of George Ekim Ferguson. He has a beautiful aboy like that. And when James Kojil Agre was teaching at Achimota, according to his writing, he said, when I turn my aboy left, the whole Gold Coast educated youth will turn it left. When I turn it right, they will turn it right. So it shows you.
But is there a meaning to it? If the boy is left or right or in the middle?
Value, it has aesthetic value. It is a path. It shows a path, a way. So you've created it has a nice, depending upon the posture of your face, then you know where to put the aboy.
When you were talking in your introduction, you also spoke about traditional leaders. You know, is there a reason why mostly you find traditional priests and priestesses with Mpese?
Yes, so the Mpese is believed that specific deities give birth to them. So people who are old, I'm talking about people who were born in, let's say, before Ghana's independence, or even my time. For I am 1979 born, for instance, where I was at my hometown, Anamabu. I know a lot of children who were born with impesa right from their mother's belly. So it shows you, and they say they are children of the deities.
Okay.
So they have the impesa.
So for people who do not know impesa, you may want to describe that to us more like dreadlocks kind of stuff.
Yeah, dreadlocks is impesa.
Yeah.
So dreadlock impesa also goes back than most of the hairstyles we have. So it is indigenous to Africa.
But today dreadlocks is a hairstyle, you know, that people wear. What does that connote?
Yeah, so as I have discussed earlier, back in the day, some of these hairstyles were status driven. So depending upon your status in society, as a priest, or as a person who was born as a child of a deity or a divinity, you have this hairstyle. You see, it is just the same way bangles or chain on the leg has become fashion. Back in the day, it is for only priests who have that bangles on the leg. So as they move, they communicate with deities with that chain on the leg, with the bangle. So you go, a sound can cry, then the deity saying, wait, the mouthpiece of the Lord is passing. So people know, so they don't interrupt the road. Today, all these things have developed and it has become fashion, and people put the chain around their leg or the beads around their leg. Back in the day, it was only for the priests.
Interesting. Now, what with all the photos that we saw, I noticed that the people had beautiful hair, very thick hair. You know, how were they maintaining their hair back then? Yeah,
so back in the day, what they do is that they have diaphin, which is a wooden comb, which is there. Those who want to tenderize, they have a metallic rod. They put it in fire. Then when it heats, they put it in the hair, and then it tenderizes the hair. So it was a tenderizing tool that they have, a form of a tongue. If you go to Asante, they call them dawa. So they have those ones they use to put through the hair, and then it tenderizes it. Again, they also have what is called the dye wood. In the tree language, ndubian. So they put all those things in the hair, and then it kills those who have lice back in the day because of the human interactions and what have you. So they treat their hair.
But what were they using as shampoos and stuff? Now I'm interested in that because
that is what I'm saying.
The dye wood.
Yes, that was their shampoo.
Were they using also maybe alatasemina and stuff like that?
Yes, the soap is a natural thing for the alatasemina there. It's there.
Yes.
So they use it to clean the hair. And then they have this dye wood, which they use to, you know, pass through and some even use irombo, as we call it. Dye, the black dye too. They also use that one to also beautify the hair.
Because I remember when I was growing up, you know, we use shea butter and camphor. You know, to you put in your hair.
Camphor, as you know, is of European origin. So I'm telling you what we used to have.
Back then, yes.
Back in the day, if you see...
But do we still have those around?
Yes, they mix a lot of chemical to make the yombo. So if you, anybody who have used those hair dye back in the day, and he had lice in the hair, as soon as they put the yombo there, the lice start to move, and then they get out of the hair, and they know it. You see, so this, our modern youth didn't come to see some of these things. And then the hairstyle, we didn't see the traditional threaded one, which is also there, and I don't know the natural hairstyle with or without. So I will show you the styles like in Wobenua. So this is a young girl from Sirigu. You see, this is the hairstyle with the thread.
But there was some too that stood.
So it will let the photos move. So this one is the down one you see with the rubber style. The one you are talking about, this is called the Nwobenua. So you see snail eye. You see how it is. So it moves. Then you have this one. I don't know the name anyway, but it looks like some sort of shape. Then the one you are talking about, India. Okay.
Beautifully done.
Yes. So if you move on, you see the modern form. The one we see earlier, how it has developed into the modern form.
But you also have the small ones.
Yes, it should move on. Intekuma will come. So you have these different hairstyles. It should move on. This, you see this lady with this hairstyle is the Geku, but this woman is a Yoruba. So you see the facial mark. We call it. Fantis, Ashantis also have it. We call it Yunswakam. That is a crying facial mark. So that is the Yunswakam. Then you see the young girl too, also from the north, with that beautiful hair.
Yes,
that is your Ntikuma style.
Yes.
So it shows you the process of developing the.
Interesting.
Yeah. So these are the you see another form of the Ntikuma in the modern form is called the Taft.
So do we have these kind of hairstyles coming from specific areas? So for instance, the coastal people are doing this. The Ashantis are doing something else. People from northern background are also doing something else. Or anybody, any woman at all can do any of this.
The styles evolved from the young ladies themselves, depending upon their taste. It was innovations that were developed, and when it became popular. Everybody from every community. But for the Ntikuma like that, it's for ordinary folks own. The ordinary folks.
Anybody
you see a woman who is an elite will never do the Ntikuma. In fact, the haircut, depending upon the way you even have your haircut in Ashanti, where you live the poor, shows whether you are servant, whether you are Obrempong, whether you are Nkwankwa, and so on. So all these things, the hairstyle has meaning. It has meaning. It communicates. It shows role. Some are in communication with God, the traditional priests, as they do the Gawoye with their big taft, shows you that they are representative or the mouthpiece of the deities. So it's there. So people just don't do hair like that. But these days, all have crystallized into style.
Of course,
irrespective of where you are coming from, you do it. But they all have their history.
But it looks like now we are going back to styles of the old.
Of course,
because now we don't want to perm our hair anymore. We believe in braiding our hair. All that is coming back. Is it a way of fashion, just re-evolving?
Yes, so human being evolves. And like I've shown, probably somebody who is a hairstylist who is doing traditional form. Probably if you contact me, you will see more elaborate ones because this is for a 30-minute or so TV show. I cannot bring all. But there are a lot of different styles that are colonial hairstyles that I've collected. Whether with or without trade.
I think we should come back to even talk about duku, and the various styles of tying duku and all that. Kweku, thank you very much. This has been very insightful. So we've been talking about hairstyles, the bands and the boys and everything in between. My guest has been historian Kweku Dako. This has been Breakfast Daily on City TV, still in the Heritage Month.